Well, this afternoon, let's talk about the NDC because former President John Dramani Mahama is receiving endorsements from all regional chairpersons of the National Democratic Congress. The group of party executives are vowing to make John Mahama's comeback a reality. Dean of that caucus, John Japon Kujo, earlier today joined John Mahama's former contender, Joshua Alabi, to pick up forms on behalf of the former president.
As you are aware, we are in very difficult times in this country. The economy is in shambles. In fact, you cannot even define the exact word for it. People are suffering. And the summary here is that people are crying for the National Democratic Congress to come back. The NDC has gone through all its structures, election last year, and it's time for us to come out for the leadership. The flag bearer will be leading us to the 2024 election. Ghanaians are not only asking for the NDC to come back, but they are asking for a well-experienced leader. In this game, the current economic crisis in this country, leadership counts. Two keywords, leadership counts. And if leadership comes, then experience is the key. One who has done it before, and one who is very humble, one who shows love to the people, and one who believes in people-centered policies. When you are coming out with a policy, you have to factor in the people. You carry the people along. Fortunate for us in the NDC and in the country as a whole, we have somebody like that. And we can't afford to allow him to sit down whilst we have a very huge challenge, tax to surmount. So we are here to pick his form and to work for him. Working for him is not only working for him, but working for the National Democratic Congress and working for the people of Ghana. They need us, and we need to lead. I'm very confident that come 2024 December, January 2025, NDC will be forming the new government.
And that's the firm assurance from the John Mahama camp, but he's continuing to receive some support from the party structure, something we've not seen in a while. We have the chairpersons of all the regions within the NDC, of course, declaring their support for John Mahama. Listen to John Japon Kujo indicating that arrangement with my colleague Samuel Mbura.
And take your people out of this mess, this economic mess, and that is why he asked him to stay for some time. And he stayed. Very healthy, very strong, a young man, dynamic, very experienced, and can do anything to bring Ghana back to where it belongs. And that is why he is coming. I have been in Parliament from 1992. In 1996, John Dramani Mahama came and he sat behind me. So I have been with him for a number of years, you know, when I became the regional chairman. This is somebody I've worked with for a very long time. And now as a regional chairman, if it were you, among those people who are coming, just to see one person even here today, I haven't even seen him before. I have been in the gutters, in the drains for the past 30 years. Some of them, you don't even know them. Then you jump and you come, you want to be a president of this country. Because NDC, people see that the economic things are not going well. So let's take an advantage. That will not be fine.
You are the dean of the regional chairman.
Yes.
Do we take it that all the regional chairmen in Ghana are for JM?
For goodness sake, all my regional chairmen, all the regional chairmen for National Democratic Congress, from Upper East to Western North, each of them, I say, each of them in their own capacity, as whether Big Edu, as whether Musa, as whether Nanatoku, as whether Big Edu, as whether Ashimo or whatever, as John Kojo Japan, as Ababito support John Dramani Mahama. And almost all of them are here. But for 2-3 people who ask permission for other reasons why they are not here, all of us, and take it from me as a Dane, all of them. And I can tell you, even the whole country, almost all the constituency chairmen, you won't get 2 or 3 that will go against John Dramani Mahama. No. In NDC, we respect commitment, loyalty, you understand, and someone who has the country at stake. And that is for you, John Dramani Mahama. That's why we are all going out for him. I can assure you, mark my word, the other time John had 95 point something percent. Today, 13th May, John will not get any listen less than 98 point something percent. Take it from me.
And that's John Japon Kujo speaking on behalf of arguably all the chairpersons within the National Democratic Congress. I want to bring in now Dr. Asasanti, political scientist with the University of Ghana. We also do have the chairperson of the NDC's elections committee, who then received the nominations, or actually handed over the nomination forms to Joshua Alabi today, lawyer Kakra Esamwa. He's joining us via phone. And a little later as well, we'll be speaking shortly to one man who's joined that race. Is the new face in the race. We'll tell you about him shortly. But thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. I'll start off with you, lawyer Kakra Esamwa. What we've seen today is a demonstration that many, or if not all, chairpersons of the NDC have declared their support for one candidate. Is that in line with the guidelines that you have going into this presidential and parliamentary elections?
Me on your program. I am sure you heard Japan saying that the chairman who came there accompanied Professor Alabi to collect the nomination forms were there in their personal capacities. And that even though they were chairman, they had not come there to commit their regions wholly for their aspirant, the aspirant that they support. For your information, even if they did so, there will still be elections in those regions. Indeed, under the constitution of the NDC, even if only one person was retained as the candidate who qualified to participate in the election, there will still be a process of an election to determine who becomes the flag bearer for the contest in 2024.
So, in effect, no guidelines have been breached?
No, none at all.
There are concerns that this may injure the unity within the NDC, knowing that there are some other factions and individuals who are jostling for the same position John Mahama is seeking to vie for. How do you intend to work out, these differences and ensure that what we're seeing, regional chairmen who are supposed to be leading the reorganization process of the party, declaring a support for one candidate, does not lead to cracks and faults within the NDC?
I do not think so. As regional chairman or as executive members of this party, they still reserve the right to decide who they want to support, this man or that woman. And that is exactly what they have done.
For today, we've seen at least 2 candidates appear, or persons picking up forms on their behalf. What's the roadmap in terms of receiving nominations or allowing candidates to pick up their nominations?
Well, the program is that for 3 days, that is today inclusive, today, tomorrow, and Friday, the election committee will sit and receive the aspirants who are interested. They come and pay the nomination fee, and then we give them the nomination forms to do and fill. And they have 1 month to fill and return the same nomination forms with the approved filing fee. And then there will be a vetting. And if you are vetted and you qualify, then you qualify to participate in the primaries of 13th May 2023. So that is what we are doing right now.
There's the question about the amount involved. I don't know if you could be of help to us in terms of the amount involved. Some are claiming that this is on the higher side, given the fact that this is an opposition party seeking to get the best and quality of individuals to run irrespective of their financial capabilities. In effect, one candidate for the presidential slot would have to dole out close to over 500,000 Ghana cedis. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, you are right. You are correct.
Is that not too much on the high side?
We have not received any petition challenging this regard. If we do receive it, we will consider it.
Is this what the NDC is known for? We know the party to be for the grassroots, opening itself up to all persons of all walks of life. The belief is that 500,000 is rather on the high side.
At the risk of sounding that I am listening to other things and not listening to other people, I am sure you must have heard that some people have actually decided to pay on behalf of one aspirant. In most cases, politicians don't do these things with their own money. And then there are sponsors and supporters who help them to fight the election. And that is what is probably going to happen. And as I said, even more importantly, none of the aspirants has come forward with a petition that this is too high for this and that reason. If any such complaints came, we are all in this country, we'll consider it.
You are equally raising some concerns yourself, not to demonstrate your support for any candidate, but about the general governance within the country, that for the very first time we're seeing retirees go on a demonstration or a protest. In what vein were you making some of these points?
Oh, because the fact that pensioners were actually demonstrating in broad daylight in this country has never happened in independence Ghana. And it's one of the clearest indicators that we have a resource government in place which must be removed at once. And that was the point I was making.
And finally, going forward for tomorrow, who are we expecting to pick up forms? Do you have a schedule that you're working on?
Yes, under the arrangement that we have. We actually expected Honorable Kujibos to do so tomorrow, but he actually came today. His agent came and collected it on his behalf today. So we are expecting Dr. Dufour tomorrow because that's what we have agreed already. And then we'll stay there for Friday. We never know who will come in. And we'll do whatever has to be done so that the party's interests are advanced.
Is it likely that we may see some disqualification taking place?
It's too early for you to say, for me and you to be talking about that, because I've just told you that we collect, they come and collect these forms, fill them, a month later they bring it together with a filing fee. And then another committee, not my committee, another committee will vet them in accordance with the provisions of the 1992 National Constitution and the provisions of the NDC Party Constitution. And when they qualify, then they will qualify to participate in the primary elections that will take place May 13, 2023.
The devil is in the detail, as they say. What measures are you putting in place to ensure that the elections itself is free, fair, and reflects the true will of the grassroots of the party?
We are giving the aspirant the opportunity to have representation, that is polling agents, at all the polling stations that we will set up throughout the country. There will be representations at where we will print the ballot papers. And they will have representatives at the collation centers in the constituencies and at the national headquarters, which will be the National Collation Center. So at each and every stage, the aspirants have a very big input in determining the fairness, and I'm sure they will do a very good job.
You have, for now, you're dealing with about possibly four candidates that will be on the ballot. They may be winners, some may lose, and in the end, you're looking for party unity. Do you have a place for these individuals or a plan for them after the exercise?
Please say that again.
Do you have a place or a plan for them after the exercise?
Do we have a plan for those who will lose the election?
Yes, after the exercise.
I can assure you that all those who vie for the slot of president in our party are very experienced party people who know that in entering an election, you can either win or lose. And they take whatever result in their stride. and then we move on.
Council, I'm grateful that you've been able to spend some time with us here on the polls. That's Lawyer Kakra Isamoah. He's the chairperson of the NDC's election committee, receiving and, of course, doling out the forms earlier today. We're now also confirming that Kojo Bonsu has formally picked up the forms, which means that we're set to have 4 individuals. I would be introducing one gentleman who's the new face that you may not have heard of in this whole period of campaigning, but he will be telling us why he wants to give John Mahama a run for his money. I want to first of all hear from Dr. Asa Asante, who's joining us via Zoom, because Doc, there's an interesting phenomenon that we're seeing, having 10 as close to, I mean, this is even more than 10 actually, almost all the regional chairpersons declaring their support for John Dramani Mahama. Was this expected? And for you, will this augur well for the party's unity?
Blessed, thanks so much and for the opportunity. It is not surprising to me because if you are somebody who is close to the ground and you have your ears firmly glued to the ground, you realize that that will be the situation. Why am I saying that? I have chanced upon some work that they've done, and within the party, it is clear that John Mahama is the most popular, all right, and that you would expect that people will gravitate towards him simply because of a number of factors. One, he has seen it all. 2, he has the political wherewithal. 3, he has the experience, and he has also track record that in elections you need that so that you can leverage on that and campaign for votes. So I'm not surprised that we are seeing a huge, party folks who are ready to galvanize support for him and also to support him to win the bid.
Okay, we'll look at the aspect about party unity shortly, but Doc, just hold the lines for me briefly, because all we've been hearing so far, and some of the names that we've heard before, we've heard from the likes of former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Dufo. We've also heard Kojo Bonsu, former mayor of Kumasi, also indicating his willingness. We understand he's just picked up his forms as well, but there's a new face emerging in the NDC besides all of these names that we're hearing about. And I want to bring him on board to join the conversation. Of course, many of you may not have heard about him. This new face that I'm talking about is one individual known as Ernest Kweku Kobia. He's picked up his form this very morning, indicating that he wants to run for president. Thank you, Mr. Kobia, for joining us here on The Pulse. What's giving you that hope that in spite of all the signals we see, chairman declaring support for John Mahama, that in spite of all of these indicators favoring one candidate, you still want to be president of this country?
I believe myself that I can be a good manager for the country and also to build up a new Ghana for my people to live in. And as NDC, we believe democracy, and we believe that everyone have purpose to contest. You can come forward and pick your forms. That's what I did today.
Are you even known within the NDC? Because I've heard the chairperson, the dean of the chairpersons, Mr. Japon Kujo, make that point about your popularity within the party itself. He says they don't even know you within the structures of the NDC.
Mepacho, your chairman or your right. Na enye NDC fu nyina ena omoye popular. But on say they say if you're NDC member, ukuta or card, and then you pay your dues and etc., you can come forward and pick your forms up. This is what I did this morning.
No, but of course that question still faces you. Of course, someone who wants to lead the NDC must be known within the party. And I'm asking that question because of what the dean of the chairpersons was indicating to us. Are you well known within the NDC?
Yes.
What's your journey like, and what's been your story? What's been your contribution, for instance, to the growth and well-being of the party that you want to serve?
Okay, I'm from Weja constituency, and everyone in my branch, Jesus is my savior. They all know me, and also a lot of party branches across the country. They know my contribution and my efforts to the party.
You've crossed the first phase of the entire process. You've picked up that form. Obviously, that's amounting to some 30,000 Ghana cedis, correct? You have the next phase to deal with, 500,000 Ghana cedis. Do you have the financial capabilities? Are you prepared for the task ahead?
Yes, and even I prepare to donate some to support my party as well.
Oh, really? You're giving some money out to the NDC?
Yes, which is I'm well prepared with this. So there is no going back. And I make my mind up, me and my team, that we will deliver the promise and build a new Ghana.
We'll talk about your vision shortly. But I mean, how much are you donating to the NDC besides the 500,000 that you'd be paying?
For security reasons, we can pass that.
Okay, but would that be more than the 500,000 filing fee that you'd be paying? Just to give us a range.
Please, I cannot make a comment on that. It's between me and my family, and I don't talk much on air.
Right. Okay, so now to the next phase, the issue about supporting John Dramani Mahama. The belief is that if you have all of these resources, why not unite around one candidate that will be willing, of course, that's been there, time-tested, popularity up there than yours. Why not put your resources behind John Mahama for him to run?
We all know that the old man is the big man. Everybody know that he will make the change and he's going to win. But I believe in democracy, and we bring democracy to this country to make everyone have a freedom of speech. So I'm making a decision to go forward to support and contest, so that we all know that a young guy came up and picked up the forms and he ran.
Yeah, and I can see from the image now, I'm not telling your age, but it appears that indeed you're a youthful person. Do you have enough following? And what's your background, by the way, for those who may not know you professionally speaking?
I'm a businessman. I created and I made it. That is my professional.
How about your support base within the NDC? Do you have a lot of following, a lot of people following you and supporting you within the NDC? How well known are you within the party?
Yes, I won't make too much, but I will let you know that I will surprise everyone.
Okay. If you have a message for...
I'm a very good coach.
Right.
I never lost a match.
Okay, I see. You're in for the race. If you have a message for the rank and file within the party, specifically the delegates who'd be voting for you, what message do you have for them? What would you want them to know about you? What message are you selling to them?
The message is think about your future and vote for the right person to bring your future to pass. We are not talking about ourselves today. We're talking about our children, our great-grandchildren, so we can build a new Ghana for them to be happy. Thank you.
Okay, and the very last one will be about your chances. You're likely to either lose or win. If you lose, what would you be doing? Will you still support the NDC?
NDC is my family. It's the family I know. And if I lose, I will support whoever the party bring to the power. And as I said earlier, after I pay my submission, I'm still going to support my party.
And how about if you win? If you win, what policy will be your topmost priority as a presidential candidate? What message will you be selling?
To build a new Ghana and to build future generation for us to be financial freedom, good economy, and good environment to live in.
Well, we'll see about that, but congratulations for picking up the form. We wait to see what the outcome of the election will be. I'm grateful, Ernest Kobia, for joining us here on The Pulse. Dr. Asasanti is still with us. Doc, so there you have it. One new face emerging. He says he's a young person. He's making a statement for the youth. But what do you feel are his chances, by the way?
The chances of the gentleman, are you asking?
Yes, precisely.
He has joined the race. We'll see how it pans out. But he must brace himself for a serious fight. It is something that you need to have a lot of skills, ideas, knowledge, and the rest of them. So it's not as easy as he's trying to put across. There's a lot of work.
And in fact, that's bringing up the debate as to whether or not, I mean, looking at the level of endorsement for John Mahama, as to whether or not there's even a need for a contest in the first place. Would you support, I mean, that call, that push within some members of the party asking that let there be consensus, let all the resources be channeled to one candidate so you have your best bet going into the elections?
Oh, at this level, you get all sort of proposals. They are all welcome. They are part of democratic feedback that you get within a party such as the NDC, which is a mass party. You should expect that. But it's actually what their constitution says. If the constitution says that even if you rally your support behind one person, you need to go for election, that is how it's going to happen. And I had Kakre Shama, throwing light on that. So, yes, people can make proposals, but it's what the Constitution said that will be adhered to rigidly.
That's the question about the political cost. It's still on the high side. Last CDD survey indicating how much it will even cost you to become president. The NDC is just typifying that for us, isn't it? Over 500,000 Ghana cedis just to contest as flag bearer of the NDC. Your thoughts on that?
I don't have a problem with that.
That's a lot of money. You agree?
Yeah, it is. But you are going to lead the country. They are not saying necessarily you should dole out the money from your own pocket. Your ability to raise it is a function of your leadership skills. All right. If you are leading this country and there's a need to organize resources, which you are going to, do that from time to time. It shouldn't be difficult for you. You can raise it through family and friends, sympathizers, and all that. We want to see that scale. So that bar that they set, for me, there's nothing wrong with it. It's you are either able to do it or not it. Then you forget it, so that we separate the boys from the men. If you are able to demonstrate your ability to generate that resource, then it gives you the first card for you to compete. And then the next one is your ability to convince delegates that you have the message, you have the understanding of the economic problems and the solution to these problems, and a host of other things. So this is the first step. Let's see who is capable of organizing resources. If you are going to dole out from your pocket, fine. If not, we don't want to see a scale in that regard. Otherwise, forget it.
Three names are out of the way. We're waiting anxiously for the last candidate to show up, and we believe that that's where the context will be. Dr. Kwabena Dufo, the former finance minister, we understand will be picking up his forms by tomorrow. If that happens, will that change the dynamics within the party? And for instance, the level of support, for instance, we're seeing going to John Dramani Mahama.
There's no doubt that Dr. Dufo is a giant within the party. He has paid his dues, contributed immensely towards the growth of the party. There's no doubt about that. His record is very solid. There's no doubt about that. But from where I sit, I believe strongly that above all of them is John Mahama. He has a proven track record. He has the following. He has seen it as a vice president, president, and all. And that, yes, there are people who can compete with him, but obviously there is more of the voters who are going to gravitate towards his end and give him the votes. It is virtually just one person who will pop up as a winner of the election. But it tilts towards favorably was John Mahama.
Okay.
There's no doubt about that.
John Mahama set for you, but obviously we are looking at the other side as well, not just the NDC, but what's happening in the governing party. The NPP is yet to come up with their dates for the presidential primaries. What are the implications generally, looking at what's happening to the NDC, just opposing that to the NPP?
Yeah, they need to adhere to the terms of their constitution. If they fail to do that, I will not be surprised that people will take them on and go to court. All right. There are a whole lot of theories around that as to why there's going to be, a postponement and the rest of them. But it is in their own interest at this time that a lot of things are going against them. You don't need to also create another problem within the party. From the economic standpoint, things are not well. From even governance standpoint, there are a lot of deficiencies and there are a lot of potholes that they need to fill. So if you want to aggravate the situation and add to party rancor, bickering and division within the party, obviously that will not bode well for a party that want to break the eight and retain power at least for the third time. So I think it is incumbent upon them to be able to make sure that they respect the terms of their constitution and follow it rigidly.
I mean, there's one issue we're not paying attention to, but some say it's a silent gesture of the kind of control he's exercising over the party. The likes of Joshua Alabi picking up nomination forms on behalf of John Mahama. What does that signify to you?
Oh, it tells you that there are giants who are behind John Mahama, and they are not going to, hide behind the scenes and do things. They are coming out boldly to tell you that this is the man they are rooting for, and that these are people behind him. You've seen the leadership across the country and the rest of them. It tells you his support base and all that. For me, as a student of democracy, if all these gestures do not breach any of the rules of the party, fine. If that's the case, then somebody must rise up and challenge that. If that is missing, and then obviously it tells you that everything is fine. So right. I look forward to a healthy contest, and I look forward to a very, very clean contest that will bring in the best that will represent the party for the development of democracy in this country.
And very finally, this should be also a moment for introspection on behalf of on the part of the NDC. The fact that this is a party that's finally fielding John Mahama, arguably for the very last time. Well, we don't know what the outcome of the next election will be. But obviously, and going by what you, the experts, are telling us, this may be his last chance to make that attempt to come back. That puts the party in a state where it needs to look for a natural successor to John Dramani Mahama. Would that be an uphill task for the party?
Plato said that he has no control of tomorrow. You do what is needful today and wait for tomorrow. I'm sure NDC are thinking along the same line, that for now, the first, duty is to make sure that they win power and form the next government. Whoever will succeed will be, a secondary matter. The most important thing is that win power, and then you seek ye the political kingdom. The next shall be added unto you.
Yeah, the very infamous quote from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I'm grateful, Doc, that you're able to spend some time with us here on The Pulse.